Oh! Just got a lot of rain up here.
Hey, yeah.
They're sucking the water out of the field.
There's the CJ. That's Mark CJ. I bet ya. I just want to spook him and say hi. Here we go.
Ready?
Yep. That's the Saturday morning storm. After the Friday night storm. It's coming down.
And before the Monday through Friday storm.
Let's hope it's not storming tomorrow.
Yeah, we check.
At least we're not storm chasing.
We got a picture now?
We're storm watching, not chasing.
That'd really be a good picture of us standing there together getting our pictures.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? We just.
I'll take your picture from the car.
Thank you. Here.
You stand out here, I'll sit here.
You guys' hair looks a little ragged there.
Whatever picture you want.
I want to get a shot at the ramp rats. Where you guys at? Can't move planes in there. There's that.
There's the jet.
And there's nobody going to move them.
Oh, I know. Just hope they're sealed. I bet you every DC-3 is getting soaked on the inside right now. There's the Spartan. I'm going to come back to that later.
You can roll the window down if you want.
I don't want. I want to get wet.
The only one that could stand up and take it. The helicopter. Getting a little wet. Of course, yeah. Yep. Evidently.
Can you ring that bell for me?
Take a picture.
Gotta cover everything.
And then the sensor fusion just means that the airplane is just a flying sensor. It's covered in cameras and sensors, and it's looking around itself at all times. And then it's fusing all that information together, and it's presenting it to the pilot in a super logical, well-displayed, well-thought-out manner, so that making decisions is a lot easier with a lot more information to make those decisions than I had in the F-15. Yeah, there's a lot of things to look at in the airplane for sure, and that's one of the big things I'm learning how to fly it and deploy it, is where to look at any given time, because there's so much information. So depending on the mission set, you have to really just focus your eyes on the really key things and kind of disregard the things that don't matter. And one of the things that helps us do that is a custom screen layout. So you maybe from back there you can sort of see up towards the cockpit, but there's really not much to see in there because it's just one giant 8-inch by 20-inch piece of glass. So it's essentially two iPads side by side. And the layout of what's on those screens is kind of similar to drag and dropping apps on your iPhone. And no two pilots have a similar screen layout. I mean, they may be close, but probably not identical. Third generation helmet, and it's integral to the airplane. So when you look up there is no heads-up display. It's just a clean glare shield up there. And the heads-up display that you think of in fourth generation fighters, which was kind of an extra piece of glass that hung up there, is gone. And that's all embedded in the helmet. So the helmet gives me the heads-up display. When I look forward, the heads-up display appears, and when I look away, it disappears. So my brain thinks there's still a HUD up there, like I had in the F-15. But that's just one small part of the helmet. As Joey was mentioning, you target with it, you cue sensors with it, and it shows you where threats both in the air and on the ground are. and it's augmented reality. So when you look out in space, there's symbols drawn around airplanes, there's symbols drawn around things on the ground, and you just trace your eyes down to that point, and in those symbols is where threats are, or good guys are, depending on who we're tracking out there.
And we're very proud of bringing our aircraft here. We've been here since 2006 when we first brought them on. The aircraft that you see outside.
As we saw tremendous market acceptance and sold out of the 2019 year within a month's time frame last year. It was just a fantastic opportunity for us to go out and reintroduce something that I think really resonates within the market with all of you. What we're founded on right now is performance, technology, and cabin comfort, which we believe elevates the customer experience overall. So again, we're here today not only to support the innovation that we see coming out of the EAA, but also what we see coming out and resonates within our own company. Again, the DNA that we have is based on innovation and the engineering prowess, and the fact that we can design, certify, and manufacture an aircraft safer, faster, and more cost effectively, we believe, than any other aerospace company in the industry right now.
It is an all-electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle. We are building this for urban mobility. It will be for passengers. It will be probably one of the widest vertical takeoff and landing vehicles that's been developed, and I would assert that in order for this to be successful, it's going to be one of the safest aircraft ever made.
How many people are pilots? So, how many of you like it when somebody says, I can make some electronics that can outperform a pilot in every single respect? It's like, okay. So, I find this company, find this website that says, we're going to build an AI within 10 years that can do absolutely anything a human pilot can do better. To which I scratch my head and I'll pile it up, I get it. But, so I went and I made a connection with this company called the Daily here in Switzerland, and went and visited and found about 25 or 30 guys that came out of Google and Uber's self-driving car, Facebook self-driving car, SpaceX, the rocket landing stuff. These guys really seem to know what they're talking about when it came to AI.
This electronic ignition system was developed by SureFlight Partners Limited with input from Lycoming's engineering team to be produced to our exacting specifications.
I'm Neil Thompson, Tommy Thompson. I was with the RAF, and they taught me how to fly. And that was a different time. They retired me at the ripe old age of 19. Came home and finished high school, and then went to sea sailing cargo ships on the Atlantic and Pacific. And while I was doing that, experienced a tremendous call to be a pastor. So I'm also a Lutheran pastor, did that for 51 years. But I was a missionary pastor pilot up in northern Canada. So did a tremendous amount of flying. And that's a flying that I really like to share. So,
excellent. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Hey, my name's Harlan Rose. This is our custom bronze sculpture family business named the Randolph Rose Collection. We've been doing custom bronze art for about 50 years. Right here I have our beautiful sculpture called Flying Freedman, Riding Freedom. We have all the eagles soaring down. We did a special white patina for this year. Hope we can make EAA more special than every other year. So, thank you very much.
This is it's made of high densified wood from here to here. Then to here join it to soft wood and entirely carbon cover.
You'll see Bigfoot. Bigfoot's hideout.
Yeah, this right here.
Kind of do that again.
Brace, that's normally a wire. But because when you do tumbling and somersault and stuff like that, it's very hard on the tail. When you watch it, you think it's hard on the
And falling behind Mr. McKenna.
This is actually
his own version of his flat
stress. So a lot of people that do, you know, the more hardcore stuff, put the brace on it instead of just got rid of the wire. Now the other thing, some of the two-place versions have is a second wire, but two up here and one in the back. And that kind of does the same thing a brace does.
It was cool to see Dojo when he came by. Thomas, you have a speed when he does
up here. Sometimes they get cracks in these areas where these weld to the side, and those have doublers on it. So they're
but
I don't mean to go right ahead.
They come in from the right.
It's just
it's a screw. It's just real thin. I'm actually I want to go to carbon find the carbon. I'd like to make all of this carbon, not paint it, just put the yellow on it. Obviously it's a lot lighter, more flexible, and then and you can like literally mold it to that shape. So I don't have to worry about bending it and all that kind of stuff and scratching it.
On October 25th. It took about 8.5 hours. I started filming it up in Wapakoneta, which was Neil Armstrong's hometown, and I flew over to the boyhood home where he grew up, and they did a couple shots around there, and then they wanted some takeoff and landing shots, so I suggested that Neil Armstrong would have probably flown off of a grass runway. So there's a airport down by my house named Mad River Airport, and we went down there and did the takeoff and landing shots and the flying shots through the air where the people were inside too.
This is, I think, Gene and I were trying to figure, I think it's the 6th or 8th time that we've had the chance to come to Oshkosh, and it never wears off. It never gets dull. There's something new and something that you just haven't had time to see before. So we're loving it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice to be back. I hadn't been here in a long time. I'm sorry we were late. We were held up by the drawbridge. Can you imagine that? Oshkosh, the drawbridge city of America? I didn't. I was really surprised. But I saw airplanes today that just beautiful down the other. Where else could you go to get something like that? I think this is the one and only spot for it. Started out in a T6. Some people call them AT6s in those days, but they weren't advanced as much anything that I could think of. But anyway, I was very experienced. I had a total time of 20 hours. And I can remember, I was so used to the two-seater, guy in the front, and then behind you had this guy screaming his head off. And it was a little different this time. I got in, taxied out, took off, and first turn out of traffic, I looked back at over my shoulder to see where I was going, and I got a glimpse of the back cockpit. There was nobody in there, for God's sake. I was totally flummoxed. I forget what happened with the rest of the flight. Joe.
Hey, I was so interested and passionate about learning to fly or being a pilot and flying. I really didn't have any opportunity to do it until I got into college. I was working at Cessna during the summers to save money to go back to school the next fall, and I had an opportunity to work at Old Nebraska Airport there in Wichita, and right up the end of that way. And I would work 8 hours sweeping the hangar, cleaning the toilets, gassing airplanes, and stuff, for 1 hour flight time in one Cessna 120 that the owner had. My instructor was my boss at Cessna, who was head of the bar class, a wonderful guy, and he really taught me to respect those things, I think, and really taught me to the thrill and the responsibilities of flying an airplane, as well as manually how to fly. So I had a wonderful opportunity before I got into the Air Force. After I graduated from college, I had to wait about 6 months to get into flight school, back up applications for flying training. So I stayed here and worked at Cessna and took time to do it with the Air Force. But when I started flying with the Air Force, I was a little behind Mike in timing and getting my flying career started. And we started out in T-34s, and then went to T-28s, which were both trusted to good airplanes. And having flown a little conventional light plane job, I thought, this is easy. It's not only fun, but it's free, and that was the thing. I didn't have to pay for the flying time. We had some systems that, quite honestly, had margin of robustness built into them, just because in Earth orbit we go up to the space station every couple of months. We send the vehicle up and down, and parts, new systems, new pieces can be taken up and be installed on the vehicle. We won't have that luxury when we commit to going to Mars.
If I think back on Apollo 11, I get different emotions. One is it's quite different. It's that little silver sliver of light that we have is nothing like what the moon appears to be very close. It's huge, it's bulbous, it's three-dimensional. It feels like it's almost trying to come through your window into you. It's under our conditions, the sun was behind, so it's sunlit around its circumference, all 360 degrees, and a beautiful little golden rim that lets you see the surface in a way that we don't here. It lets you can make the lights look a little lighter and the darks look a little bit darker. Research has gone into it. My friend Neil Armstrong is a far better engineer than I thought that there were some gaps in our knowledge. Before we could set sail to Mars, we could fill those gaps with operations around the moon. I disagree with all the experts or whoever. I believe in I would call it JFK Mars Express. I think the Apollo program enjoyed a mandate from the President of the United States that was a masterpiece of simplicity. Man on the moon by the end of the decade. And that's the kind of direction, and that would lead to the sort of intensity that I think we perhaps need worldwide before we set sail elsewhere. So I'm sure there's a lot of validity, and I think what Joe has described, and I also think that's the way it'll end up, and I respectfully disagree.
You ask them about owning the aircraft, no matter what kind of warbird it is, they will say no. Get that picture, Nessun is directly overhead. What great choreography. Let's give it up for the Warbirds of America and the division of the Give them a wave, folks. From the top, bringing smoke